What is going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt, and today we are here breaking down for you another Zap Quake strategy. In this video, we're going to be breaking down for you Zap Dragons here at Town Hall 11. So if you guys are interested in seeing more of this type of content, then remember to go ahead and subscribe and ring the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. Now, one of the biggest things that you need to understand about this strategy is that you are trying to look to take down 3 of the 4 air defenses. What do I mean by this? Well, you're going to be Sui heroing one of them. Like you see right here, that air defense there is basically exposed. So it's a lot easier for us to send in the Sui hero right into that area and take it down. But on top of this, what we're going to be doing is zap quaking these back end air defenses as well. This is going to leave that entire back end open for our dragons, so it's definitely very huge. So the only other air defense that would be left is right here. So you need to keep in mind that you do need to send your dragons in. Sometimes though, you can get some chain values, like let's say an E-Drag chains onto this, and it kind of goes like that, then definitely that's an option. That is one way that you're going to see in this replay that's exactly what happens, but you guys still get the broad aspect of what this really is. So it kind of gives you guys a good idea. So remember that what you're trying to do is you're carving out one side of the base for funneling. So that is what you're going to be doing here. And the same thing would be on the opposite side, but with a Sui hero. So it's a lot easier for you to kind of see that pathing that you're going to be having for your dragons. So just creating the funnel with their E-Drag and your Sui hero is going to allow you to kind of get right into the base here after that funnel's been set. And it's going to keep all your dragons right in the base for most of the time. So you got to keep that in mind when you are using this. Other than that, though, that is going to give you guys a really good idea. So just to keep it zoomed out, you guys can still see exactly what's going on either side. We have the E-Drag going in on one side. That's going to carve out this area of the base in order to kind of create our first funnel. And then we're going to do the same thing over here with the Sui hero. And that's going to allow us to kind of get rid of some value. So let's go ahead and focus in on the Sui hero. Making sure that we're going to be able to take down the air defense is our #1 priority. So making sure that we're able to take it down is hugely important. Once we're able to take it down, though, we can start to send in our dragons and stuff once we're guaranteed to take it down. We can always sometimes use a dragon too in order to create some sort of funnel, but that can definitely allow us to kind of move into our dragon portion. Now, one of the biggest things, like you'll see right here, is that the E-Drag chain takes down the air defense. So like I mentioned, now as you're sending in your dragons, you're guaranteed after you take down the first air defense, it is now time to take down the other 2 by using the Zap Quake method. 2 lightning spells and 1 max quake will take down a max level air defense here at Town Hall 11. So if you guys take a look at it here, we've got 2 lightning spells being deployed on both of the air defenses. Then the quake is going to be used in an area where we can weaken these defenses up. So that's very important when you are using this. Another thing is you are having to deal with the clan castle. So you do need to pop the warren ability. You need to use the poison in order to take it down. Those headhunters will definitely weaken up your warden if you don't drop that poison spell early. So keep that in mind. A lot of people, or maybe some people, are running headhunters in their clan castles. So keep in mind that they go for heroes, which means the warden is not exempt from this. So that means that the warden will be targeted, especially on air, and they'll skip right past your dragons and move right onto your warden. So keep that in mind. Make sure that your warden isn't going to go down to low health so fast. So keep that in mind when you guys are using this. Other than that, though, this kind of gives you guys a broad look into using this strategy. So this kind of hopefully gets you into the understanding of it. There are other variations on using the Zap Dragons. Another way that I didn't mention here was using super wall breakers or even regular wall breakers to break into a compartment to take down that air defense, get down some other defensive value, and really you can then send in your dragons. So that's just one option that I have here, but let's go ahead and move on into a couple more examples to hopefully give you guys an understanding of using Zap Dragons. Now, in this example of using a Zap Dragons, you're going to see the use of zapping away paired ADs, also known as a no-fly zone. Some of you guys have probably seen this type of base design before, where you have the air defenses on one side of the base, almost like this. This is something to take advantage of. You can either use 3 lightning spells on either side to take them down, or you can use a Zap Quake method. That's the reason why we have 2 Quakes and also 6 lightning spells. Now, of course, you can definitely use 2 and 2, and that would save you with 2 zaps for either one of these sweepers. That's not exactly what happens, but that's something that I would recommend. But what you're doing is you're dropping 2 lightning spells and then a Quake over here, 2 lightning spells and a Quake over here, right in between all those defensive buildings, in order to clear those areas up. And then you could just send in your dragons from kind of like this left-hand side here. So you're kind of trying to send them in like this into the base. Very simple, very, very simple stuff. It's not too difficult for you guys to understand. So all we're just trying to do is create the Sui hero on this side, create this funnel here, and then we're going to send in maybe something else in order to deal with this other side here, in order for us to send in our dragons this way and allow us to kind of get this value over here. So it's definitely one thing. We can use like an E-drag over there, because we do have an E-drag in this case. So you're going to see the use of the Zap Quakes here. So we're going to first start out by using the Quake spell on top of both of those air defenses in that compartment. And then we're going to be using 2 of the lightning spells. We're doing the same thing over here, but we are going to use a 3rd lightning spell, which I feel like it would have been better if we used a Quake. But definitely that was the attacker's case here. Other than that, though, we just weaken up some of these defenses here. Zap just to weaken up the air sweeper and the multi-inferno. Other than that, though, we can definitely start creating our funnel for our dragons. So we're going to use the Sui hero down here. Like I mentioned, we're taking out some of these defenses, so it's easy pathing for our Stone Slammer. And then we also have the E-drag, so keep that in mind. We're using that on the opposite side in order to make sure that we're able to get some sort of funneling value here. Now notice how we're not dealing with the clan castle. Now, of course, you can zap away the clan castle if you think that it might be worth it. Other than that, though, I really wouldn't worry about the clan castle, especially when you're using dragons and you have maybe a rage spell. In this case, though, we don't have any rage spells, and we only have a heal. So that's something a little bit different, something to keep in mind for a lot of this, is that we don't really need the heal for this one. Now you'll see that the clan castle is lured by the barbarians. So keep that in mind, that if it is something like a lava hound, you want to make sure that it's away from your dragons. So this is definitely not a good thing for the dragon portion, as a lot of them are going to get distracted, but for the most part, we still have max balloons going across the base. Now, if you're dealing with something like headhunters or let's say like a inferno dragon, then you want to make sure that you're bringing a poison. So you may want to -1 freeze or subtract 1 freeze and bring a poison. That way you're going to be able to take down the clan castle with ease, especially if it's something like a damage CC or even a E-drag. Or maybe it might be better to sub in a rage instead of the heal. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of different ways that you guys can use this. So let's go ahead and show you guys a couple more examples of using the Zap Dragons. Now this example is going to be a little bit different. Exactly what we're doing is we're bringing in a clone spell. So this is kind of what we're trying to do. We want our queen to kind of get rid of the multi-inferno and the air defense if possible. So we have the super wall breaker, and we want our Sui hero to go into here. Doesn't really go to plan, and the queen's going to kind of work her way into here, which is going to be, again, completely fine. But what we're just trying to do is we're trying to cut off this area of the funnel for our dragons. And we can use a couple dragons in order to clear that side. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. So this is kind of what we're trying to get from our entire funnel. So we're going to use a couple dragons on both sides in order to create that and allow our dragons to enter in right here. You'll see that we do have 2 air sweepers that aren't in the direction of our dragon portion, which means that it's going to be free reign for our dragons and our balloons to kind of move through. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But on top of this, we're going to be bringing in the lightning spells to zap away this air defense. So that's something very important to keep in mind, and it's definitely something that you need to kind of understand when you guys are using this. So one of the biggest things is you can use a baby dragon to start off creating your funnel for your Sui hero, using a couple Coco loons in order to make sure that there are no seeking air mines in this area, in order to allow our baby dragon to kind of get something going for the funnel. Other than that, though, it's easily going to allow us to send the super wall breaker in. Now, maybe I could be wrong here, but maybe the super wall breaker was used for the king to kind of get something going for, making sure that he's able to carve out that area and just send the stone slimer in a little later. So that's definitely one thing that is definitely a possibility. But on top of this, you want to try and make sure, though, that you're getting as much value as you can. So that's why the queen is kind of working her way down this way, and we're trying to work her into that area there. So it's definitely something very important, and it can really help you net yourself a lot of value. Now, you'll see that we are going to be sending in our dragons kind of like this, cutting this area off and this area off, allowing our dragons and balloons to get right into this multi-inferno compartment. That's what we're doing. So as we're sending in our dragons here, we can drop in our lightning spells like you saw right there at any given point. We already took down the other air defense. Now, as all the dragons are moving in, we use the Warren ability in order to make sure. You'll see that we have two rage spells almost overlapping, but we're making sure that the dragons and balloons are getting right through there. Now, notice that we're dropping in the slammer in order to take down this sweeper over here, or this multi-inferno. What we're just trying to do is have these dragons and the stone slimer meet up here in order for us to kind of get something going with our drag clone. And you'll see that what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the clone spell right on top of these balloons right after they go through, and using the haste spells in order to get these loons up to defenses like the wizard towers and Teslas and other things that can definitely allow us to support the rest of our dragons moving right through. We have a lot of max balloons here, so it's able to easily get through the rest of it. So if you guys are interested in definitely trying out a strategy like this, then let me know in the comments below on exactly how this strategy is working for you guys, and if you guys are definitely finding some success with the Zap Dragons. But on top of this, if you guys have made it this far, remember to leave a like on the video, remember to subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. So this kind of gives you guys a really good idea, sums it up very nicely. We've got one last example here for you guys in order to hopefully get you guys into a different variation of really understanding how you guys can use different methods of the Zap Dragon attack. Now, this is going to be the final example, but this is going to give you guys a really good idea of zapping away different defensive buildings. Now, of course, you can definitely go for still the CC and Queen, or the CC and the Eagle Artillery. However, it's definitely a lot better when you can get stuff like air sweepers and air defenses without having to take away the Eagle Artillery. Because all you want to try and make sure that you're doing is taking down these key buildings, because your dragons can survive the eagle shots, but definitely it's going to be a lot better if you're able to charge right in, especially when it's in the core of the base. So that's definitely one thing to keep in mind, but you'll see that what we're going to be doing is we are going to be using these lightning spells right on top of where the sweepers are, and of course where the eagle kind of area is. So we're using an E-Drag on one side, but the main thing here is just understanding, look at the use of the earthquake, and we're only using 2 of them on each of these, and then we're going to use the other 3 to take down the other air defense. So now what you notice here is that what we're doing on one side of the base is using the E-Drag. So this is what we're doing on this side. That is a lot of value for the pathing. And what we're also doing here is we're kind of trying to create this part of the funnel as well with our Sui hero. And that's just going to allow us to get our dragons right in. Charging in for that air defense, which is extremely important, and moving our way right into the eagle and the multi-inferno. So that's one thing I want you guys to really understand, is that you want to make sure that you're charging into those key defensive buildings. That way you can easily take them down underneath a rage spell. So that's something that's very important. In this example here, you'll see that we aren't really going to have enough power to entirely get rid of everything. So some of the dragons may wander out this way, but that's the reason why we're saving that stone slammer. So the stone slammer we want to use on this side in order to kind of create this pathing here, so our dragons stay in the base. We do not want them to move onto the outside. So you'll see that as all the dragons kind of drift themselves this way, we're going to be using that stone slammer here. Now you may notice that we are going to be dealing with a dragon and inferno drag CC. It's actually not that bad. Even underneath these dragons, easily takes down the enemy dragon and enemy inferno dragon. So there's just a lot of things to kind of keep in mind here. Other than that though, seriously, it's a very easy strategy, very simple, and hopefully you guys get the understanding of it, zapping away air defenses and zapping other key defensive buildings, bringing a clone spell, and all that good stuff. So definitely, there's a lot of different ways for you guys to really understand and use this strategy. So if you guys definitely enjoyed this video and you guys are interested in seeing more, then remember to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. Along with that, feel free to go ahead and join my community Discord server. It would be greatly appreciated. Along with that, remember to follow me on the social. All my social medias are in the description of this video, along with all the clans I cover within this video as well. Feel free to go ahead and also, if you guys want to support me, feel free to join as a channel member. And also, if you guys want to, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to me over on Twitch. It's a great way, as currently I don't have a creator code, but maybe someday I will. But those are two great ways that you guys can support me as of now. Other than that, though, feel free to go ahead and also follow me on Trovo. But with that being said, guys, that is really going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and make sure that you guys are sharing with your clanmates so that they can become better attackers here in Clash of Clans from Town Hall 11 all the way up to Town Hall 13. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.